This video will show how to take a gradebook report card and send it to the electronic vault. The first thing you do when you're processing your report cards, if you want them to go to the electronic vault, is either from the principal or the clerical screen, you will click on the run report cards like you normally would do. You then want to switch to final, switch to the final button, select your desired report card, select whatever 9 weeks that you're processing, and also if you have like a current comment. So we're going to do fourth 9 weeks for this example. I'm going to run this for my high school students. You can go select by grade level homeroom, or optional you can run it for a particular student. So let's say if I was trying to rerun this for an individual student, just for saving time, I want to run it for Sally Jones, and then I click submit. As soon as you click submit, the screen should come back completed successfully like you're normally used to. You then click on the viewed save report cards, which then defaults you to this final tab. So you can switch back and forth from your preliminary and your final here as well as far as preliminary runs. Most times schools will run the preliminary one first, validate that all looks good with report cards, and then they'll run the final process. Now during the final process, what happens, here's the one that we just ran right here that I've got check mark. So as soon as you first click the submission, it's got to convert the RTF to the PDF status. Once that is completed, then you'll come back to this screen again where you'll have to click on this finalize button. So as soon as I click finalize, that continues the process to where, okay, what do you want to have display? What reporting period do you want this to appear under? So we want it fourth 9 weeks. And when do you want this to be made available? We want this to be available already, let's say in March or whatever the time frame is for this example. So you make sure you've got the correct date. Now this date is also handled under or defaulted by, if I click on home and we go to report card dates, it's looking at what date that you have the fourth 9 weeks listed under. So for the published date, this is where it's getting where it's going to be made available for parent access to be viewed. So 3/25/22. So we jump back to the principal and our clerical screen, it doesn't matter. Go back to the viewed save report cards, and then we click, okay, that looks good. We go back to finalize, choose, make sure the date looks good. We then click OK. As soon as we click OK, it now goes from the pending conversion to the pending print and publish. Now this process can take anywhere when it's doing the conversion from RTF to PDF, could be 15-20 minutes. And then when you do the finalize step, that could take a half hour, an hour, depending on how busy the system is. When the report card has finished with this processing, it should show you a green done process. Okay, on the screen, it gives the ability that if you have students that need to have a printed copy, this print option will only run for students who are required, that indicate they require a printed copy. If I wanted to print my entire report card like I did under the preliminary tab, you simply click on the report card itself, and then you can download this as download the original print file. And then here's also the PDF, which would be for all the students that would needed a print, the report card printed. When the screen's processed, like I said, you have a format PDF. Every one of your students will be sorted by homeroom, so you can actually run this for the entire elementary, and it does sort by homeroom when it does the process. So sort by homeroom and or by student. So homeroom is the default setting. So we return back to the viewed save report cards. So now that this has completed, as far as with my prior example, to save some time, you should now be able to go to, if I go to gradebook, I'm one of the teachers of this example. So the teacher should then be able to click on their class. They can view this report card one of two ways. The teacher can click on the individual student. So I click on Sally, and I can jump to report card tab, which shows me, okay, here's fourth 9 weeks. I can click on that and get a viewable printed copy of that student's report card. So once I close out of that, the teacher can also, from the dashboard, click on the View Parent Access screen to see what will the parent, how this will be viewable from the parent side. So they can then jump to the report card. And then from the report card, they'll see the typical one that they normally do. That's not a very good printable one because it takes so many pages, especially if you're a standards base. So they can go to View Paper Report Card, which will then show the most current report card that is out there. The parent can also go to this View Paper History, which gives them, so as you running these through the school year, you would have first, second, third, and fourth 9 weeks if that's what your school is planning on doing. So they can go back to the report card to see the individual. But if a parent actually wanted to have a printable copy, they would click on this View Paper Report Card. Now, in order to make the electronic vault report card available, you will want to double check under the PA admin screen. You want to double check your page level security setting has View Official Report Card. That's what the electronic vault is. A lot of you are probably doing for the high school building, so this may already be checked. So, but that needs to be checked in order for that to be displayed on the ParentAccess side. One more thing under Report Card Builder, you also want to be able to make sure that the report card, and if I click on the arrow to the left, that under this option 10 on the General tab, so under the General tab, option 10, make sure it says Post on ParentAccess. That's also critical and needed in order for report cards to display at all on the ParentAccess side. This concludes, like I said, how to run the gradebook report card for the electronic vault. Also, please note that if I jump to the student information side, we go to this high school building and we look for student Jones. So if I go to Sally's individual record, I can click on the drop down arrow and it should say View Latest Report Card if you have that security option turned on for you, and they can view that elementary report card via Indazzle. You also have the ability, if I jump and type in archive in the search option, this gives me the ability, if I go to archive report card maintenance. So for those that have access to that, if for some reason I ran this report card and something was wrong or marks maybe were missing, I had to rerun it, you have the ability to delete just this individual report card run for this individual student. Now, if I wanted to delete this run for all my students, I would have to remove the student in context and just go to the high school and say, well, here's still the archive report card maintenance, and I can click the trash can to permanently remove any students that I had ran for this particular report card. This concludes how to send a gradebook report card to the electronic vault. Please contact the help desk if any additional questions. Thank you.